Hello, everybody.
All right, so this is a citation. It was issued on May 13th of this year on 20th Street there in Hopkins Township. It's a speeding citation on an actual 70 and a 55. However, it was only written as a 1 to 5 over. So, Ms. Malter, you're here on a speeding ticket 1 to 5 over to do one of three things. First is you could admit responsibility to the citation, or two, you could admit responsibility, but you'd like to provide some sort of explanation to court as to how or why this happened. Or three, you wish to contest this citation. In other words, fight this ticket at what we call informal hearing. What were you looking to do?
I believe I would like to fight the ticket. I don't think the ticket was deserved.
All right. Then even though I cannot see you, I'd ask you to raise your right hand. Same way the officer's raising his right hand. Do you swear or affirm any testimony you give here today would be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do, Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
All right, Ms. Malter, it makes a lot more sense for me to start with the deputy. He has the burden to establish to me why you were issued this citation, but then after that, you'll have an opportunity to either ask questions or testify on your own behalf, okay?
Yes, sir.
And with that, Deputy Miller, you want to pick up the narrative somewhere where it makes sense and explain the issuing of this citation.
Thank you, Your Honor. As indicated on May 13th, 2024 at approximately 6:20 a.m. while working as a certified peace officer for the County Sheriff's Department Traffic Division, I was working stationary traffic enforcement on 20th Street near 126th Avenue. It was at this time that I observed a vehicle traveling northbound at a high rate of speed. I then activated my radar in the front antenna stationary mode and obtained a clocking of 70 miles per hour. Furthermore, as I continued to track the vehicle, the driver dynamited their brakes, in which the vehicle slowed down to 60. It was at this time I then initiated a traffic stop, identified the driver as Katie Sue Moulter, who's present here today. Speaking with Katie, she stated that she was on her way to work and that she was in a hurry. Furthermore, Katie indicated that she was trying to get there on time. She knew she was speeding, however, no speed was given. Upon speaking with Katie, she indicated that she did not wish to be cited because she would lose her CDL. As a result of this incident, I did issue Katie citation number SD 28607 for speed. However, I did reduce it substantially off the actual clocking and only issued her a 60 and a 55. I'm a certified radar operator with the Michigan Speed Task Force. My radar was verified before and after my shift in proper working order. There was no objects or hindrances that would have thrown off the radar reading. I have nothing further at this time, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Moulter, what is it you'd like to tell me?
Well, when I got pulled over, I was coming down a hill, and I just picked up speed due to the hill. And I was actually braking, which the officer couldn't see because he was not behind me at the time. I was trying to correct my speed. And I never once told him I was in a hurry. He asked me where I was going. I told him work. He asked me where I worked. So that right there is a lie as well. I did tell him, come on, do you really have to give me a ticket? Because I was coming down a hill and I was trying to decrease speed that I picked up from the hill. And also because I have an excellent driving record. I do have a CDL. I haven't had any speeding citations of the sort in over 20 years. So I don't think there was reason enough to jeopardize my financial future, my career, and, my driving history over something such minor that I was correcting at the time.
Okay. Anything further?
No.
All right. Well, ma'am, yes, the information I have in front of me here is that you were clocked at going 70 and a 55. I have you yourself didn't even present any defense of what speed you were going other than that. So the only information I have is that a deputy telling me he's using a radar that's in proper working order that day that he's certified to use had you at 70 and a 55. He only wrote you for going 1 to 5 over. But it seems that even by your own admissions, you would be going 1 to 5 over. So I
don't know what my speed was. I don't know what it was.
Ma'am. So I have to pick. I have an officer saying you're going 70, and you're saying I don't know how fast I'm going.
Your officer is also. You can tell by the ticket. You can tell by the ticket that he's a liar. Was I going 70 or was I going 1 to 5 over?
No, ma'am.
You can tell that he's a liar.
Ma'am. You were going 70 miles over. That's what all the evidence points to. He used his discretion to try to give you a break and didn't write you a ticket for going 15 over, which he could have written you, and I would have found you responsible.
I don't know. I
if the
don't know that
ticket
I was going
15 over. Well,
I don't know that I
exactly,
was.
man. You have no idea how fast you're going. It's my turn to talk now. I would find you responsible on this. You would have a right to appeal. You would have to do that within 7 days today's date.
Passenger side.
You would have to come in and post a cash bond. We are all set. I'm going to go ahead and release parties. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Whatever.
All set. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Gentlemen, this is a citation
Can you hear me
that was
now?
issued on, yes, sir. This
Okay.
citation was issued on May 23rd of this year on I-196 there in Lake Town Township. It's a citation for failure to yield right of way involving a traffic accident. Mr. Sprague, you're here on this citation to do one of three things. First is you could admit responsibility to the citation, or two, you could admit responsibility, but you'd like to provide some sort of explanation as to how or why that happened. Or three, you wish to contest this citation. In other words, fight the ticket at what we call informal hearing. What were you looking to do?
2.
All right. And what is it you'd like to tell me?
Well, it was dark on that evening. I have 3 side mirrors in my truck, and I argue that the driver of the vehicle did not have his lights on, because out of one of the 3 mirrors or multiple mirrors, I would have definitely seen lights had he had them on. I can show you, I happen to be in my vehicle right now. I've got a front mirror that shows next to the truck. I've got a bottom mirror that shows between the truck and the trailer, and a top mirror that shows along the whole trailer. And not that I need that many mirrors, but you know, if it's dark out and somebody has their lights on, you know that it's almost impossible not to see their lights.
Okay. I understand what you're saying. I will tell you this, the only consequence the court has is that fines and costs. Most of the time when people call in and they want to talk over a ticket, what they're concerned about is getting points on their license. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
Is that your concern?
Well, also truck insurance is very expensive. And it an occurrence like this could make it detrimental for me to drive for this company if my insurance spikes. Now, I would also like to state that I have been driving for 47, almost 48 years, and I have a perfect driving record with no at-fault accidents.
All right. Here's the thing, though, sir. You're on admission of responsibility on the citation. I can't do anything about your insurance. I can't do anything about the points because that's Secretary of State and that's your insurance company. You understand that? I can explain to you what you could do about your own points if you're interested in that. But other than that, the only thing we have left to do is that you need to make arrangements to pay that fines and costs with the court. You understand?
Right, but I can state.
Well, now I am having trouble with your audio. It was working fine, so I just don't want you to say too much until we're up and running again, and then I have to start all over anyway. What was it you were saying?
Okay. I said I would like to state my case, my feelings of the whole accident, if that's appropriate for you.
Well, sure, but sir, if you're admitting responsibility to the citation, then the only other thing I can do is I have some discretion over fines and costs, but they're statutory at this point. You're not contesting the citation. We already went down that road.
So I should contest the citation then?
If you wish to have a hearing, yes, that's what you should have done. That's why I said you can admit responsibility, or you could admit with an explanation, or you can fight the ticket. Those are your 3 options.
I guess I want to fight the ticket then.
All right, that's a whole different thing. First thing we do is go ahead and raise your right hands.
Yep.
Going to swear you in? Swear or affirm any testimony you give here today would be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
Yes.
All right. Mr. Sprague, it makes a lot more sense for me to start with the deputy. He has the burden to establish why you were issued a citation in the first place. But then you'll have an opportunity to either ask questions or testify in your own behalf, all right?
Okay.
With that, deputy, you want to pick up the narrative somewhere where it makes sense, explain the issuing of this citation.
Yep. On 5/23 of 2024, approximately 10:21 p.m., I responded to a two-car PDA accident on I-196 near the 44-mile marker. I responded. There was no injuries. The caller, I'm not sure who the caller was, but the caller stated that there was a Dodge black car in the median side of the highway. And there's also a semi involved. I arrived on scene and observed that there was a black passenger vehicle in the ditch in the median side. He had since tried to pull himself out to a position where he could come out before he spoke with me. I spoke with that party that was driving the vehicle. He stated that he was traveling northbound on 196 highway near the 44-mile marker. And he stated that he was behind the semi that Dewey Sprague was driving. He was behind that semi, and the semi went to the left lane. And that driver said that he got cut off by the semi in the left lane. The driver of that black passenger car then drove to the right lane to pass the semi. He stated when he was almost finishing passing, his rear end of his vehicle got hit, and which caused him to spin out in front of the semi, then went to the median side into the ditch. I asked the party if his lights was on, and he stated that his lights were on. Then after I got done speaking with him, I went to go talk to Mr. Sprague here, and he stated that he was traveling northbound as well on 196 near the 44-mile marker, and he was in the left lane, and he went to go veer into the right lane. He stated that he did do it slowly, so that there was no issue of anybody passing him. He stated that he slowly veered over to the right lane and didn't see any vehicles coming at any point. And when he went to go veer, he saw this he saw this black vehicle right at the last minute. He ended up then hitting the rear end of the vehicle with his front bumper, causing the vehicle to spin out in front of him and go to the median. I advised Mr. Sprague that I asked him if he saw the vehicle at any point. He stated that he did not. He advised that the lights of the vehicle were off, and he didn't see the vehicle at any point. So I explained to Mr. Sprague I didn't find I found it kind of odd that the place where the vehicle got hit, if the black car was trying to accelerate and pass him before he veered over, it makes sense if obviously Mr. Sprague hit him, or the black car hit him midway up the semi, not in front of him. That's why he was issued a citation for fail to yield.
And to be clear, this was back passenger side of the other vehicle that got hit?
It was going to be, so he hit the driver rear side.
Okay.
And then the semi hit the front right bumper. If that makes sense. The semi was in the left passing lane, and the black car was in the right lane.
I had them other way around. All right. All right, sir, it's your turn.
Oh, okay. Well,
Although I think I know essentially what you're going to say. I think you already said it.
I
But
did
if you want to
everything.
start all over again, that's fine.
Well, I'll proceed. Like I said, I did not see any vehicle over there, no lights on. After I heard the tractor bump, first thing that came to my mind was I must have had a blowout on my front tire. Well, everything slows down when you get into an accident, and then the vehicle squirted across in front of me going into the center median. I did not see any headlights when he went across in front of me either. Now, my vehicle has a right side fender turn signal and a center trailer turn signal. I did everything by the book. When I turned my turn signal on to see that. So if the driver was next to my vehicle, he would have seen that I had my turn signal on and had planned to move over. Now, a semi is huge compared to an automobile. Now, if I was in the automobile, my first instinct would have been to touch the brake and back off and let the semi move over. But apparently that didn't happen.
But that's the opposite of failure to yield. In other words, if you're the one that wants to change lanes, you have to make sure it's safe to do so, not the cars that are already in that lane.
No, I understand that. That would be a defensive driving point on their behalf. But like I say, without any headlights, it was dark vehicle. I had no way of knowing he was there.
Well, sir, but here's the problem. You hit him in the back of his car, not the front of his car. Without headlights, you may have moved over without seeing him clip the front of his car. Clipping the rear of his car, headlights wouldn't have helped you, sir. His car's already ahead of yours. The front of your car hit the back of his car, right?
No, but the headlights would have helped me because I would have known that there was somebody on the right side of my vehicle. I didn't have to move over to the right side. I could have stayed in the left side. But when I looked at my mirrors, in the left lane? When I looked, pardon me?
Let's start there. Why were you traveling in the left lane?
Because I was passing a straight truck. And after I got by the straight truck, I looked back in my mirrors and I could see the straight lights headlights, but there weren't any other headlights.
Okay, but that doesn't make sense either, because those headlights would have illuminated the car that was in front of it, whether or not it had its lights on. That car would have been sitting in your blind spot, right?
No, the straight truck was back further.
All right. But I will tell you this, Mr. Sprague, the problem is lights or no lights is not really the issue. The issue is where on your vehicle and where on the other vehicle the impact happened. That's why it's always going to be your failure to yield. You were trying to make a lane change. The prima facie evidence that it was not safe for you to make your lane change is that you in fact hit another vehicle that was already in that lane. Therefore, they have the right of way. Therefore, it's your failure to yield. That's why you were issued the citation. I agree with the deputy's logic that you should have been issued this citation, not another vehicle. So that is my finding, sir. That's my finding at this point. What I do need to do is explain to you your rights on appeal. You do have the right to have this go to what's called formal hearing. Now, formal hearing in front of the district court judges with the prosecutor's office would likely involve the prosecutor subpoenaing the other driver to be there. I'm assuming there was a UD-10 deputy?
Yes.
So the prosecutor would have the information of the other driver?
Correct.
Now, at formal hearing, that other driver might be there for you to ask them point blank whether or not they were driving with headlights, but they do not need to be here at informal hearing. And at informal hearing, I would find you and did find you responsible. But at formal hearing, you may very well be able to have that sort of conversation I think you're looking to have with this other driver, besides just hearing it from the deputy, that the deputy had a conversation with the other driver, that the other driver said their lights were in fact on. But for you to trigger that formal hearing, you must do two things. One is you must ask for that within 7 days of today's date. Your window of opportunity closes after 7 days. And two, you must come in and do that in person, because you would need to post a cash bond in the same amount as the fine to secure your appearance at formal hearing. Do you understand your rights on appeal?
Yes.
Then we're all set for what we need to do here today. I'm going to go ahead and release parties. Thank you, gentlemen.
So how do I take care of my fine? I have to call up the court?
Yep, and they'll explain to you a couple different options.
Be safe, be well, sleep sweet, and much love.